Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rahahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopefully elect. So, Brother Izar, you with the Pittsburgh TMS camp, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rahahakwadash. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. I'm going to play this clip, do a quick lesson on it, okay?
What I know of man was written long ago, set down by the greatest ape of all, our lawgiver. Cornelius, come here. Reach into my pocket. Read to him the 29th scroll, 6th verse.
Beware the beast man, for he is the devil's pawn. Alone among God's primates, he kills for sport, or lust, or greed. Yea, he will murder his brother to possess his brother's land. Let him not breed in great numbers, for he will make a desert of his home and yours. Shun him. Drive him back into his jungle lair, for he is the harbinger of death.
And this is the beginning of Elder Apostle Gabar's lesson that he did recently. On it was a couple days ago, of beware of the beast man, the white man, for he is the harbinger of death. Now I want to harp on a few of these points and get some scriptures tying in, showing you that they know, that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan. Now let's hit play.
He kills for sport, or lust, or greed. Yea, he will murder his brother to possess his brother's land.
Right. So I want to get something on that. Yea, he will murder his brother to possess his brother's land. And that's indeed what he's done. Okay. Matter of fact, precept come to mind. Okay. To show you Genesis 27. All right. And this is the blessing of Esau, right? It says, and by thy sword thou shalt live, or shalt thou live, and serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Okay, so this was the blessing of Esau. Okay, that he's gonna live by his sword. Now before that, let's just read verse 39. It says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. Right, so Jacob was already promised this same pretty much thing, that he will have the fatness of the earth, right? But when he gave it to Esau, there was stipulations involved. There was conditions to it, okay? And what was those conditions, okay? It tells you in verse 41, verse 40 actually, it says, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, and thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So the point was that he was going to get these things by the sword, okay? So Jacob possessed the dwellings, the different dwellings, and then E came and took them. I mean, prime example is what you have over there in Europe, how E has gone over there and taken over those different places and is calling himself after the name of those lands, okay? But really, during the Dark Ages, Jake possessed those areas, okay? Those names go back to biblical ideas of identity. Let's say that, Anglo-Saxons are the angelic sons of Isaac, okay? And Britain or British means man of the covenant, if I'm not mistaken, okay? So let's get a precept. Micah 2, all right, and 1 says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand, okay? And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses, and take them away, so that they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. And it says right here, they covet fields and take them by violence, okay? So these people, Esau Edom, so-called white man, he's taking his brother's lands by violence. Not only his brother's lands, but the lands of the heathen, okay? The lands of the other people. All right, so they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage, right? So they've taken these things and they've caused called themselves after these lands. Verse 3, therefore thus saith Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go hardly, for this time is evil, and so evil will come upon Esau, Edom, all right, eventually, all right? Now, let's get some more of this video clip.
Let him not breed in great numbers, for he will make a desert of his home and yours.
Right, so let's go in on that real quick. Okay, now Isaiah 14, when you begin to read Isaiah 14, right? It talks about the king of Babylon. Now we understand that this is really talking about Esau, Edom, okay, parabolically, spiritually. Let's get, hold on, Salakia. Yeah, now people read this and they think that this is talking about the spiritual demon Satan because you get this word Lucifer, right? So I'm going to start at verse 12. Isaiah 14 and 12 says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Okay, now people see that word Lucifer and they say, oh, this is talking about Satan. But really, Lucifer means light bearer, okay? It means the bearer of light, all right? Let's go here to the blue letter. See what the blue letter says for this word Lucifer, okay? That's 14 and 12. And the blue letter goes off from time to time, but yeah, it says light bearer, shining one, morning star, Lucifer, the king of Babylon, and Satan figuratively, right? So really, son of the morning, it just means that one that is, has the light, okay? All right. Let's see if there's any more to shine. All right. Right. So basically, it just means the light bearer, okay? And Esau has this world's wisdom, okay? Scripture said it, see what. Ezekiel 28 and let's read verse 3. It says, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. All right. And when you look at these things spiritually, Esau, Edom, okay, he fits the bill of these different characteristics of these different people. The scriptures speak very parabolically, and the Most High set it up that way so that if you ain't right, you won't understand, okay? The Most High refers to Esau, Edom as the king of Babylon. Here he's called the prince of Tyrus, but it's all really referring to the same person because it gives you the characteristics, right? It says, thus says the Lord power, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God, I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not God. Though thou set thine heart is the heart of God. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel, there is no secret that they can hide from thee. Okay? With thy wisdom and with thine understanding hast thou gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. So basically, it gives you different characteristics so that you can know who this is referring to, okay? This is talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Trying to remember how this is worded. It's a lot. Stupid cords in my damn way, man. Headphone cord. So it is in Isaiah 14. All right. Yeah, it's right there. Yep. See, it's about to back itself up. Isaiah 14. We just read 12, right? And then we went over to Ezekiel 28 and we read about him setting his heart up as the Most High, right? So let's go back to Isaiah 14. Now here it says that he's the king of Babylon, right? And it just called him Lucifer. right? And 28 said he was the king of the prince of Tyrus, all right? So, and it gave you characteristics. Let's read verse 13. It says, "For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High." Right? So this is giving you characteristics once again. See, right here it says what? His heart is lifted up, right? And thou hast said, I am a God. Ezekiel 28 again. Thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the sea. So it's giving you characteristics. And who puts himself in this position? Esau, Edom, a so-called white man, he acts as though he is the Most High. He plays God, okay? And he puts that in his mind. Now let's continue, right? Verse 14 says, I will ascend above the height of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Now hell represents the grave or death, and the sides of the pit represents death or the grave as well. A hole in the ground, okay? A very low condition. You will be brought down to the bottom, to the pits of hell, okay, so to speak, meaning you're going to be taken off of that high pedestal, and you ain't going to just hit flat ground. You're going to go lower than the ground. You know how they say if you do certain things, they're going to put you under the jail? We're going to put Esau under the jail, okay? Now this is, let's go to this, verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? Is this the man, okay, that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms? That made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof? That opened not the house of his prisoners? So which brings me back to that clip. I'm going to rewind it a few seconds, right?
Shun him.
Oh, shit.
What I know of man was written
There, for he is the harbinger of death,
Oh, wait. Too far.
sport, or lust, or greed. Yea, he will murder his brother to possess his brother's land. Let him not breed in great numbers, for he will make a desert of his home and yours.
Well, he would make a desert of his home and yours. So when you go back to, what I was just reading, verse 17 says, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. Okay, see? So this is what Esau does, man. Okay, this is what Esau does. All right. He makes the world a wilderness, man. He leaves destruction in his wake. All right. Just had a few precepts going into Esau, but I'm probably just gonna leave it at that. Honestly, I think that that pretty much hits the point. I have one more to go into. Hit play.
Shun him. Drive him back into his jungle lair, for he is the harbinger of death.
Right. So Job 30. And verse 5 says, they were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the rocks, of the valleys, in the caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. Right, and that's just Esau eating the so-called white man. And now the shoe's on the other foot, because Yahweh Shem Yahushua want us to be that way. But you know what? It's only for a brief time. So anyway, I want to end it there. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, by Hashem Barah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopefully elect. Then I want to say Shalom, Wa Ba Ba Ba, Shalom.